I don't know what this is about, but I have like the Mandalorian theme in my head right now, so it's like oh ba-dum or something. Like it just keeps going. Seemed like a good place to start a show. Yeah, I don't know. You guys hear that noise? That is my Blue Eddy power station charger. I should probably unplug that while we do radio shows, right? You're welcome. Thing is, I unplug it and then I forget to plug it back in. I don't know. And for some reason, it kind of leaks power no matter what. I would assume that is because that I keep the phone charging part on, maybe. I don't know. I don't really care. I kind of like occasionally using it to charge phones. And I think it's probably best to actually use the battery bank rather than to fucking just let it sit. And using it to occasionally charge a phone is pretty light duty. So what do we want to talk about? I'm talking about shit at the fan a lot, but I don't really want to talk about that anymore. Let's talk about AR-15s again. That's where my mind is at, really, is I've pretty much got my web gear squared away, minus 2 pouches that I'm going to order when I get paid next week. So that'll be a load off my mind, other than maybe I might get another set of suspenders down the road, because I don't really care for the World War II ones. They're all right or whatever, but the way they hook in or whatever, it makes it hard to find a spot to put them on a modern belt. They weren't advantageous. I always wanted to try a pair, and I'm going to be setting up a second pistol belt rig, and they will work to go with it. Basically, I already have a set of a UM84 fucking holster and mag pouch, and I can get another Alice web belt for $18 on fucking eBay. So I'm going to get that to go with it, and I'll throw the suspenders with it and put a canteen with it. And from there, I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I'll have to figure out a gun to go in it probably at some point. If not, it's a really universal rig. It fits most handguns, and the mag pouch fits quite a bit. Like, I think it's anything that's like a Beretta mag body style thing. Might be wrong about that. Might get a couple of M16 mag pouches to go with that rig. I don't know. But that's, once you start doing that, like, you're dumping a lot of money into it. Having a canteen and a pistol on a fucking belt with some suspenders might make sense to hand to somebody. But having the ability to have M16 mags on that same belt makes even more sense, really. So, that's where the web gear is. Like, we're starting to fucking think about planning a second set. But that's mainly because I already have quite a bit of Alice shit laying around, and I can get another belt for $18. And, that belt is fucking worth way more than $18. Just my guess, if you had to buy that on the military, like, supply market, that's $100 plus belt. And it's bitching. Like, a lot of people, I think, don't run the Alice belts anymore because they think they're uncomfortable. And to some extent they can be. It depends on how you wear them. If you wear them with suspenders and wear them loose, I think they're pretty comfortable. It's one of those things, it's never comfortable to be in anything that's fucking tight as Dick's hat band. Anywho, after web gear getting squared away, which the only reason I'm doing that this late is I've pretty much been running a chest rig up till now, and I just came to the conclusion that wasn't going to work anymore, and I was looking at buying a new chest rig, and I had a gun belt and started playing with having M16 mags and a gun on a gun belt. And I'm like, why don't I just do this? And I was like, well, the best way to do that is the Alice belt. So that's how we ended up at that. I was going to get a World War II one with a metal buckle, because At the Front makes those, but apparently At the Front has not had the parts to make those in 2 years. Have you ever wondered, like, is there really issues? Yeah, there's really fucking issues. So I know those people pretty well, and they usually make shit. Like, if they aren't making shit, there's, like, legit reasons. Anywho, I'm glad I didn't buy that belt, because the fucking modern one for $18 is a fucking steal and a half. I didn't even think to look for that. It was, okay, well, we can't buy the belt I wanted to buy. So what can we buy that could also do that? And I went looking on eBay for anything kind of like that, and that modern one for $18 popped up, and they still have more of those. It's like $18 plus shipping. Like, it was like 20 something. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Fucking cheap as shit. The At the Front belt I was gonna order was $70. So, score. And the cool part about At the Front is that they offer 2 sizes of pistol belt, and the biggest one that they offer is fucking ridiculously huge. The one that I get, the standard one from there, is as big as the large belt from World War II. And basically, because it's a thing that you can just size, and modern people tend to be a little chubby anyway, they don't even make the smaller ones, because if you want a smaller one, you can just buy a World War II one. So if you needed a bigger belt, At the Front was a good place to go. With the modern belts, they make pistol belt extenders and shit, which I would buy one of those if for no other reason than, hey, I'm going to wear a bunch of Arctic gear, and I don't want to have to adjust my kit. People don't ever think about that, but it's a handy thing to have. Also, it might be handy to buy a couple extra of those things, because they have spare plastic buckles on them that you can cut out of the extender and put into the belt if you really had to. The belt that I got for $18 though is large enough that, man, I still have room to spare in it. It's a big belt. Trying to think of other web gear bullshit. That's pretty much it for the web gear, I guess. But once I finish that up, I don't really know what project I'm going to be working on next. Because, like, there's the car, but I really just dumped a shitload of money into the car. And the only thing I really need is a roof rack that's like $150. And basically, if I do that, I might have like $40-$50 worth of money to fucking do some other prep with. Or I could just have a couple meals out. You know? I don't know. But $150 sucks up most of the prep money for the fucking week ever. I keep putting off getting a roof rack because of that. And at the same time, I need to get a fucking rifle barrel, and it's $170. And that's one of those, I'm gonna have to just bite the bullet and do that. I'm going to have to just bite the bullet and do the fucking roof rack too. And I think maybe I should prioritize the higher priced items, because as this goes on, it's going to be increasingly difficult to come up with that amount of money. That's what I'm seeing. I've just been kind of focusing on hitting items on the list, because I don't know how to plan for this shit. But it seems like I'm going to get a rifle barrel sooner rather than later. I'm going to get a roof rack sooner rather than later. And maybe I should do that and just get pieces of projects that are expensive and then finish the rest of the thing later. Because my thing with the rifle is there's about $70 worth of small parts that I need for that gun. Plus a trigger, which is $80, a barrel, which is $170, and a bolt carrier group, which I think my buddy has one for $50. I'm gonna buy from him. I'm not really that worried about the bolt carrier group. It's like into the list. In reality, it's the first thing on the list, but since my buddy has one and the one in the gun is okay-ish, it's not my top priority. The barrel, again, I keep coming back to that, like I should do that because it's expensive. Like everything else is like $70 worth of parts, $80 trigger, $50 bolt carrier group, that kind of shit. It's not $170 barrel. And I think pretty much as this goes on, if finances keep getting worse and worse, I'm going to eventually not be prepping. We're just going to be surviving. And like having weapon systems squared away, I think is a worthy prep. I think having the car squared away is a worthy prep. The web gear was kind of fucking essential because, like, I need to have mags and a gun on me. Or the ability to do that, at least. And my fucking chest rig was just, it was getting to the point where I was fixing it every other day. So, it was kind of at the end of its ropes. I still have it in a fucking bag of shit. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I might completely strip it apart from all the duct tape and bullshit and try putting it back together as like just a fucking ammo bandolier kind of thing. Yeah, that I'd give it to my nephew. Might just give it to my nephew. It is a handy rig though. I don't have any other Chinese shit. I might keep it. The car, I have got down to where the only things I want to get are a roof rack and then maybe like a handful of accessories and shit that I don't even remember that I have them on the list. And then like tires. And tires are really low priority down the road. So the car is damn near done as far as I'm concerned. Like it needs a roof rack and it needs basically for me to take a couple weekends and figure out the inside of it. But I don't want to do that yet because I need to be able to take my nephew. I need to put that car seat in there. Fuck. I don't know what I'm going to do with him. We might just come and fucking play in the shop or something. I don't know. I don't really want to fucking risk burning him before Christmas. Oh. I do have a scooter. Take him to go ride the scooter. Tell him to bring a helmet. That scooter's pretty badass. Like, it's a thing that I would have loved to have ridden when I was a kid. It's like a Razor scooter, but made by, like, a small aircraft manufacturer. It's bitchin'. I own a Zooter because of Nuttin' Fancy. I watched that video like 10 years ago and was like, that's kind of cool, but it's so dorky I wouldn't do it. And like now I'm just at the point where I don't give a fuck. It looks cool. There's not much shit that's made that speaks to me as far as shit like that. And that does. And the reason it does is because I liked the Razor scooter when I was a kid. And I'm 6'5" and 400 pounds. And that fucking scooter is made for someone taller than me and bigger than me. So it's kind of cool for me to ride. Oh. Keep trying to lose weight, but like it's like fucking impossible, basically. Given the circumstances of the world and the fact that I'm eating off of canned goods, it makes it rather difficult. Not to mention, I've been like depressed as fuck and stuck inside a lot because basically no money, plus it's cold, plus whatever. Like, we're just chilling, watching TV, and talking to you guys at this point for this winter. Not much else to do other than project on my car. Try to condense down the shop into some sort of a thing that we might be able to move at some point. I don't know. For the fucking rifles, though, my Loki like home defense carbine, I think it's pretty just good to go. And like my 22 is pretty much just good to go. Like, you could put a light or something on that maybe, but I don't think it really needs it. That might be cool. Figure out a way to put a light on the 22. But, you know, the Flux Raider, I dumped so much money into, is pretty much good to go too. That leaves, you know, the sniper rifle. That's pretty much where all of my money's going gun-wise. Maybe I should, you know, rethink some of that because I have other guns that could use baby touches. Like, pretty much everything could use mags. Pretty much half of the things could use iron sights. And they have iron sights, but like my 1911 still has the 3 dots it came with. My car has night sights on it, but they aren't very bright, and they're 3 dots. I'd like to get XS night sights on both of those. The black powder pistol's good to go, at least. You know, sadly, it is like one of the most squared away guns I own. It's been a passion project, though. Like, it's one that I bought 99% of the shit I needed for out of car money, and I think I had to buy nipples and a wrench and something else to finish off that project. So, like, it was not difficult to finish that one. This is kind of where I'm at in life or whatever, is that I've spent enough money that most of my projects are mostly done. And now I'm just trying to polish off the last couple. Once we get the van done and the rifle done, I think I'm going to work on shop equipment for a minute. And, like, it would be cool to get a trailer to pack my shop equipment in. It'd be even cooler to have, like, a trailer that was big enough to stand up in that you could just have as a shop. Maybe, like, have a thing where you deploy a tent off of the trailer and fucking set up a fucking big-ass work table and a pull-out tool thing that comes out of there, and then the whole inside of the trailer is a wraparound shop of some sort. It's like a deployable fucking thing, make knives anywhere. That would be dope. I don't know what I would do with that. Because, like, in reality, I'm kind of like a homebody. Like, I just want to go build a house somewhere. So that kind of takes the, you know, the whole idea of making it a mobile thing. You know, why? I have given considerable thought to making it off-grid, which is why I sold my bandsaw, and I probably shouldn't have done that. I really loved that bandsaw, and I sold it because I foresee that I need a battery powered one. And I need a full kit of DeWalt tools that are battery powered, and that's probably going to be the thing that I put money in after the rifle and the car. And like my thing with the rifle is basically that the gun I have right now is it's not quite to my taste, and for a few $100s I can make it exactly what I would like. So we're gonna do that. And the car is a similar kind of thing. It's almost there. I don't know what I'm gonna do once I have everything finished. Like, this is what I keep coming back to. I have a list of shit that I could spend money on after that, but it's stupid. Night vision, shit like that, which, I wouldn't say it's exactly stupid. It's just, I wish I had saved a PVS 7 years ago. And I didn't because I'm an idiot. And it's one of those things that, like, if you can build one for $700 and flip it for fucking $3,000, yeah, you do that shit. That's why I don't have any of them. I've decided pretty much I'm going to build my own PVS 7. And that means I'm going to have to come up with $1,000 twice, given the market right now. If I had connections still, I might be able to beat that, but, like, I don't know. There's not too many fucking night vision pirates, and I kind of wore out my welcome with them. It was fun, though. It's a mutual, like, respect / don't want to work together / many other things. That's what happens when they don't like that you're trans, which, I guess I get or whatever, but, like, at the same time, I don't know, I've always been this. And I kind of, like, at a certain point feel like it's bad to fucking keep hiding shit and not be who you are. I've been thinking about buying a kukri too, because, like, that makes sense. Not really. Like, I like to collect melee weapons, and in my own head, it makes sense to spend $150 on a good kukri now, because they're going to be $500 and for too long, or more. Like, this is the thing: is inflation. I think is going to keep making everything go up. They're playing some jiggery pokery right now to try to keep it from going hyperinflation, and I don't think that's going to work. It's going to make it work for a while or whatever, but I think we're seeing that it's going to be a slow slide into hell as opposed to crazy fucking inflation. Our money's going to be worthless. It's just going to be worthless slower. That's what I see. As such, I kind of want to get a kukri. That's my, very impractical side, because the kukri is $150 too, and, like, I could take the barrel or the roof rack off of the fucking list. But no, I'm going, well, the kukri, it's a woods tool. It's, it's a thing that I have 8 other things that already do what it does. It's the thing that I should definitely fucking buy. But I have a disease, and my disease is the love of knives, I guess. And it would be really cool to have a fucking halfway decent kukri in my collection. Like, this is half of my thing, is that I sold my knife collection to buy guns. I sold my gun collection to make knives. I don't have a collection anymore. I'm kind of collecting weapons. That's what I'm doing. And, like, I don't mean guns. I have some guns. But from here on out, like, there's a handful of guns that I would like to add on or whatever, but they're few and far between. The vast majority of what I would like to get is, like, knives and swords and black powder pistols. And most of the reason for that is they're cheap. They're available. I think they're cool. And, they basically made it to where the guns... I have guns for actually fucking using. And maybe at some point I will buy one historical gun, but I don't think I will ever fucking collect historical guns again. And that's, a mix of my own personal choices in life, I guess. Amongst other things, like, it's just not the most important thing to me. Like, I don't know, I could have bought a whole fucking collection with the car money. And actually, I did buy a few guns. I bought a fucking Mosin Nagant M44 that was a Romanian. I sold it at Wanamaker because various reasons. It was weird. It didn't have a spot for a cleaning rod drilled all the way through. I don't know what was up with that, but I didn't like that. And Wanamaker was a chance to just double my money, basically, so I took that. I don't know. I gave Fine 8 my ammo off of that thing. I just don't feel the need to own old guns anymore, really. Maybe I got that out of my system. If you go look at my old videos, you'll see, yeah, you definitely got that out of your system. What pisses me off now is my Instagram with all the fucking old pics and shit and posts is just gone. It's like a fucking book that they just deleted off of the internet. It pisses me off something fierce. So, like, this is half of, like, there's no motivation for me to own old guns because my whole motivation for owning old guns was to do pictures and videos and shit about them for fucking other people. I really enjoyed sharing what I knew, and I don't know. So, like, if we can't even do fucking videos about guns, really, what's the point of that? And, like, here's the thing, is basically, I'm doing this right now on this channel because I don't know what else to do. I kind of think if I do gun videos, they will get more views than what I'm doing right now. However, what I'm trying to do right now is build my art to a point that I can start another channel talking about shit other than guns, maybe, and get a real audience, as opposed to this shit, which is, I don't know. Once you've been put into a black hole because you've started talking about guns and freedom, it doesn't matter what else you do. And I know I say a lot of crazy shit now. I do that because this place is doomed anyway. That's really the sad part to me, is that I really wanted this channel to be the channel that I tried to fucking actually make into something. If nothing else, I guess it's my fucking vlog. Because, like, I don't know. I have a fucking sickness and have this need to fucking chit chat with someone, and you guys are better than nobody. I've got a list of shit on my fridge that is basically the, hey, after we get the car squared away and our rifle squared away and a couple other things maybe, like, this is the shit we actually are saving up money for. And it's like samurai swords, land, like, night vision, like, there's a bunch of shit on that fucking list. So I guess once I finish preps, I'll do that. But, like, there's also the part that once I finish the car preps and the weapon preps, I'm probably going to spend money on food for about a year. I've been somewhat digging into my canned goods because it makes basically everything easier right now, and that's why I bought them. And I'm basically taking the bet that the world doesn't completely end, and that that I'm going to have an opportunity to buy more food. I hope that's true. If not, it won't matter if you have food or not if your fucking car doesn't have all the shit it needs, and fucking, you know, your rifle doesn't fucking have all the shit it needs too. Like, some of this is like, oh, you could do without, and some of it's like, yeah, or I could spend $150 and be way better off. I don't know. I would never tell anyone how to spend their money. Mainly because I spend mine in like the craziest way possible. But that's a lot of what this channel is me showing you how you should spend your money, in my opinion. Because, like, a lot of the crazy shit I do is to be able to afford really nice shit with almost no money. And some of it is like, well, what do you really want? Like, the Honda minivan is not the pinnacle of vehicle technology. It's a free car. And, like, it has redeeming qualities. That's how I like to look at it. Its main redeeming quality is that you could pretty much live out of that thing. A lot easier than you could with a lot of vehicles. And this is kind of where I'm at, is like, if nothing else, have a fucking mobile rig to live out of, because who knows what could happen. And then 2, I'm gonna try to fucking get land to park that thing on to build stuff next to and whatever, you know, like, I think this is how I plan to spend my time in the future anyway. Get whatever money I can and however I can, and do some hillbilly shit to live as poor as possible. And, like, you know, if you don't like that, then good for you or whatever. But, like, I guess I'm not above fucking living in a one-room shack. Doesn't bother me much. I'd prefer a 2-room shack, to be honest. Be living high on the hog then. I think that there's a lot of people that don't get me because they aren't Oklahoma, Texas hillbilly. Like Kossoff, who is still listening at this point, I would gather. You and I get each other to a large extent because it's the fucking, like, Scottish hillbilly in us. It's cheap as fuck, armed as fuck, The only thing that really matters is the land that you stand on and the guns that you have. Nothing else matters. You know, everything past that is comfort. But, like, if you don't have those two things, then none of the rest of it fucking matters at all. So I would rather live in the one-room fucking shack, thank you, out in the middle of nowhere, heated with a wood stove, with my rifle, than live in this fucking cesspool that I currently do. And have for forever. Like, I do not like Tulsa. It's half of why I went and tried to live in the woods so many times. And most of the reason that didn't continue was because I didn't own the place that I was fucking staying. For whatever reason. I was doing a job. And eventually the job ends. I need to figure out some sort of a job that would pay me to go camping. Because, like, that's a thing. For sure. Especially once I have that rig built out, it would be badass to, like, get paid to go camp somewhere and fucking just, you know, welcome people to a fucking campsite. Or whatever it is. Kind of keep thinking about that, too. Ways to just go make some money for fucking just sitting there. Because then whatever else you're doing, like, assuming that you bring art and fucking knife making shit with you, whatever. Which I need to go paint more, but I have not been inspired, and I've been kind of a little too drunk to paint. But my ear is much better, so I attribute that to the copious amounts of alcohol. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Sober right now, though. I'm just vaping weed. So, as sober as I get. I miss Dakota because when I met her, I vaped quite a bit of weed, and she vaped quite a bit of weed, and together we made each other seem more normal. I guess. At least to me. Like, we did all the same shit. It's kind of nice. You should definitely find someone that's into the same shit as you. Whether that's, you know, Star Wars or hardcore drugs, like whatever it is, like I got lucky with her. She was a Star Wars loving Hunter S. Thompson fan. It's like love at first sight. I had like serious fucking love goggles on for that girl for like, well, I still do. She could literally rob me at knife point, and I'd be like, well, if you need to stab me, you can. I don't know. I fucking love her. It's not an irrational thing. Anyway, fucking prep wise, we were talking about rifles. Like, I really should get the barrel first. This is my philosophy on purchases right now, at least, is that since our money is being made to be worth less every day, that means our financial situation is going to continue to worsen, which means that basically every paycheck that goes by, my purchasing power goes down quite a bit. Just by, I need X amount of money to make it through the month versus the month before. And currently, I can probably keep doing what I'm doing for another few months. Assuming that things don't go crazy expensive. Past that, I'm going to be spending much less money. And this is where I'm like, yeah, I should probably prioritize everything that's over a fucking $150 right now. And it really does change up how you're going to buy everything, I guess. Because all the shit that's over $150 is the kukri, the AR barrel, the roof rack, and then the single shot shotgun from my buddy Blazer. I wish he would have just let me pay him via fucking Venmo for that thing. We would have had it done by now. Oh, he's all, oh, we'll see each other soon. Just bring cash. He doesn't get that, like, I can't just keep that amount of cash on me. It's not in me right now. If I had that amount of cash, I'd probably go party with it until it was fucking gone. So, you know, that's some self-control issues, right? But at the same time, most of that's because I think we're all gonna fucking die tomorrow. A little bit. The other part of it is like, man, I like wake up in the morning and I'm like, man, it would be nice to go have a fucking McDonald's breakfast. And like that shit takes care of half of it before you even start talking party supplies. It's one of those I can resist many things. The temptation of breakfast in the morning just made for you, I can't. Like, I will always pay $7 for that. I know me. That's why I can't have money right now. I'll figure out how to get that from Blazer. Oh. Part of this is just like life philosophy, though, too. Like, with the inflation shit going the way it is, I'm not holding cash at all. Like, if I had more cash, I would buy more stuff. Either more fucking supplies, canned goods wise or whatever, or fucking shit I need for fucking weapons projects and car projects. But like, I think that's why the kukri is weighing on my mind, is because that's a thing that I could take care of right now that I don't think I'm going to be able to buy in 3 months. It's kind of like the scimitar I bought. Similar thinking. Like, there's a part of me that thinks we might be like stripped of our guns and defending our hovels with fucking swords. And by stripped of our guns, I mean like, hey, they're buried someplace. I really think that's where things could be headed. I think every day about burying fucking guns. I don't know. I keep coming back to which AR to bury, and I like them both too much to bury either one of them. Not to mention, I think it's probably handy to have more than one rifle. Like, AR-15s get hot. It would be handy just to be able to drop it and pick up a new one. And this is where the dudes that have fucking cases of fucking ARs that are all fucking PSAs are like, told you so. Like, yeah. I really don't think that's wise either. Like, if you have a big compound with a bunch of shit, having a few cases of ARs would be handy. With equipment and mags and shit to go with them, especially. Well, I don't know what this has been about, but this is kind of my radio show. This is what it typically is. Me pondering about life and politics and what I'm going to buy next. The how I'm going to spend money thing is a constant fucking debate for me, because there's a big part of it where, like, looking at the map right now, we should be saving cash, in theory. If you believe that that's going to continue to be a thing. If you don't believe it's going to continue to be a thing, then hoarding cash is about the stupidest thing you could do. I've started thinking of myself in terms of, like, pirates. Like, I hoard the things that I value. And why would you do anything else? So, like, solid bars or coins of metal of any variety, really, but as be solid and pure. Quality blades of pretty much any variety. Guns. Vehicles. Like, these are the things that I value, I guess. The vehicles thing, I really don't value those that much, but I have to. I need a better vehicle than Ghost Rider eventually. I don't know when or how that's going to happen. But the good thing is about that minivan is, I think with very minimal parts and maintenance and shit over the next 10 years, it'll still be running. And you can't say that about everything right now. I think there are things that I could have bought for more money that would not have lasted as long. And I think it's kind of bitching that it's some little old lady van that, like, she had the oil changed on all the time and took care of. So, but it's best case scenario, basically, is what I look at. Ow. Well, this has been 48 minutes of this. I don't know what else to talk about. I'm excited to get the bipod for my sniper rifle project because I want to spray paint it and fabric camo it. Like, I'm going to do some, like, scrim like I did on my scope and helmet on the bipod. I think that's going to make it look dope. And that is partially why I think it's the next thing I'm going to buy. Because I need a couple bits of web gear, and I'd have enough money left over to do the bipod, and then I get to play. And, like, I could do other things, but I think after I do that, the next thing I'm going to do is the fucking barrel, though. The barrel and the roof rack and a kukri. Just knock those out, bang, 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 because the rest of the gun parts are cheap. Pretty much the rest of the knives I'd ever want to get are cheap. The rest of the car parts are cheap. Those three things are like, I don't know that if the economy continues to get worse, I am not going to be able to afford those. in the very near future. I also have like the swag from the radio show. I need to fucking sell that shit too. Um, I've made calculators and knives and shit, and I need to finish all those off. When I do that, I don't know how I'm going to sell those, but if you'd like to support this show, or you think this is fucking a cool, if you think anything that I do is cool, I guess, like the knives and calculators, we're going to be for sale someplace. Trying to come up with like cool swag that's not like t-shirts and hats and bullshit. Like, I'd like to have actual like little products and stuff, art pieces. Like, I'm gonna do some paintings, sell those too. Like, I don't know if Etsy or eBay is the best place to do this. Maybe Etsy. I don't know. I really don't want to fucking deal with a lot of shit. My other thing is, I would really like to fucking do the swag and take silver dollars as fucking payment and just fucking skip all that bullshit. Just do it through the mail. I don't think anyone's game for that. Fuck the government. Really need to get into the weed growing business and the moonshining business. Like, there's gonna be some money in that shit. Sorry, I'm smoking. I don't know which I should get first. The fucking roof rack, the kukri, or the barrel. Roof rack is probably the most important, right? Although, I would say the barrel is the most important. It depends a lot on your point of view. My other thought on the barrel is maybe I should get a heavier barrel. Like, I'm buying a little skinny Faxon, like, there is a serious argument to be made to putting an H bar on this thing and buying drum mags. If you don't get what that argument is, then you don't understand the philosophy of use of a fucking AR with a bipod much, I guess. Like, this might be the thing for this gun, is I think I might have a 20 rounder in it and then only have drum mags. I've been thinking more about magazines for this fucker too. Is like, I don't know. It would be nice to have some sort of emplaced weapon kind of a thing using drum mags. And if you're going to do that, like a heavy barrel would make more sense, wouldn't it? Because then you have a higher sustained volume of fire. I don't know. I also think there's a part of me that says make it a marksman rifle, put a lightweight barrel on it, and get 20 rounders for it. Because you're not going to have the ammo to fucking dump mags anyway. In my, like, philosophy head game of what this gun is for, like, what if there are Chinese paratroopers, you know? And this is where I should probably get more realistic. And having one really good shooting gun with a lightweight barrel, I think, makes sense. I don't know. I go back and forth on that. kukri wise, I was looking at knivesmadebyhand.com, I think's what it is. They look pretty fucking dope. A guy that goes to fucking Nepal and kind of cherry picks. Either that or has a bunch shipped in that are from guys that he's already selected to fucking make shit for him. And this is like the how do you know what you're getting from Nepal kind of a thing. Even like some of the more reputable fucking kukri houses, I don't know. This guy, I think you're going to get exactly what you want. And like my other thing with the kukri is, it's legitimately a woods tool. I have a hole in my knives that is a kukri shaped hole, but it's an unnecessary thing. Like, in reality, I should buy an electric chainsaw, not that thing, but that's a whole different tale for another day. I want both. I want to get a electric chainsaw, an electric bandsaw, and a circular saw, and a couple of power drills and shit that all run on the same batteries. I have yet to figure out how I'm going to do a fucking drill press other than just sucking it up and chewing through some AC power. But like, if I can get a battery operated version of the tool, the advantage here is that you can charge your batteries from the solar and then just use them, and it's like free. And anything that's battery powered is DC like that. It's really that makes it much easier for solar. So having a whole host of fucking solar powered power tools makes sense to me. I also need to get a second solar generator, and some more solar panels. Forgot about that one. That's a big purchase. That's $300 plus at least $100 for another panel. And that's one of those, like, I think that's a have to have. I might take care of the other shit first, though. Because, like, in reality, the fucking roof rack is a have to have. The AR barrel is a have to have, in my opinion. And the kukri is a have to have, in my opinion. Are they as important as... maybe not. The fucking solar generator is probably pretty damn important, but I've already got one, and I want to have a second, slightly smaller one, so that I can have the big one that is powering the fridge and maybe a couple of other things, and then have the little one that I use to charge all my shit. And I think having a couple extra solar panels of different varieties, maybe a fold-up one even, be handy. I've also been thinking about getting a Jackery folding panel, because the way they have their shit rigged up, I could just have it and my little Anker batteries and my phone, and be able to charge up my phone off the panel and charge my Anker batteries off the panel. That seems handy. And it's a lightweight enough thing that you could just pick it up and carry it. I don't know. I think they make like a 100-watt panel. There's other things that you could get that would do similar, but I kind of like the way the Jackery one was made, to where literally it had some USB ports. So you don't even need the fucking the big solar generator thing. You could just get their panel and have your little pocket batteries in your phone and be able to solar charge all that shit. Because, think about it, if you have two Anker batteries that are, this thing. I have it with a charger for my fucking vape. I got these for $10 on Amazon. If you have two of these and the phone itself, each of these can charge a phone 2 or 3 times. So, you find a good spot out in the sun, you charge these up, maybe charge the phone up too, probably good for a while if you're just running the phone. That's, there's a lot of solar equipment that I have on my list of shit to buy that, like, I don't know, I need to put higher up on my priority list probably now. It got pushed to the bottom of my priority list because I spent, $1,500 on shit related to that, and went maybe more, maybe like 2,000. Forgot about all that. There's, okay, so my thing with the solar power thing is it wasn't just a fucking thing to charge the stuff I already had. I got a solar battery thing and a fridge for it and a solar panel and cables and fans and extra batteries and portable DVD players and electric blankets and lanterns and lights and fucking a water pump. Like, there's a bunch of shit in a box over there that's like all related to the electrical prep. And after spending all of that fucking money on that, I felt I should fill in holes in other areas. That's where we've been, but like it looks like I'm rounding about to, hey, it's time to spend another $500 on solar shit. That's gonna hurt. And this is where, like, I wish I could convince my family to fucking buy a solar generator. Because, like, right now, if the shit hit the fan, basically, my whole family would be living out of my van. So to speak. At least they would be reliant on me for power. The cool thing about that Jackery panel is, in addition to being able to just charge your phone and batteries and shit like that, you could also hook it up to one of these Bluettis, I believe. That would be fucking cool. They just have a backup panel that did all that shit. The Bluetti fold-out panels that are 200 watts would be handy also. But, fuck, they want like $600 for those. That's why we don't have a set of those. That's why I have a 200-watt hard panel. Because a 200-watt monocrystalline panel from Renogy was $189 versus $600. To be honest, I'm more of a hard panel fan anyway for my uses. But it would be nice to have a fold-up backup inside of the fucking van. That's what, at least the Jackery one would be like, hey, 100 watts of backup. Ow. I kind of want to get a 100-watt panel, hard panel, and mount it sideways across the front of the car. I think that would be dope. Maybe not on the hood, but like on like... So the roof rack and solar panel shit is going to come to an end, and there's going to be a big gap of roof space before you hit the window. And I think it would be enough room to side mount a fucking 100-watt panel. Shit. Man, I'm really stupid to spend money on a kukri. I really want one. That's one of those. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna buy rifle parts instead. But I think I am gonna buy the rifle barrel first, at least. And then buy the rest of the rifle parts. And then focus on car shit. And my thing is really, like, the car shit is, I need a roof rack. And I need that to be able to build some shit out. But it's gonna be so cold and snowy from here till fucking whenever that I don't really care about having it. So, I'm kind of waiting for spring probably to do most of that shit unless we get just really nice weather. It kind of depends on what it is. I'm looking at forecasts and shit, and like they're talking about blizzards happening, and I'm like, okay, it's either we have a giant fucking blizzard or it just barely misses us and our weather is like it is right now where it's like 60 degrees out there. If that happens, then we might be able to get some shit done. Might want to buy the fucking roof rack. Anyway, I'm juggling multiple projects. I need to just pick one and focus on it till it's done. I think that's, the web gear is pretty much done. The rifle is what I'm focusing on next, and then the car after that. And the rifle is mainly, I want to get that squared away before we can't do that anymore. There's some of that to that. And that's kind of the thing with the kukri too, is like, that seems like an odd thing to buy or whatever, but they're all made in Nepal, at least all the ones I would want to buy. And like, who knows what's going to happen to that? Is that going to continue to be a thing? And by that what I mean is Nepal going to continue to be a country? Are they going to get invaded by China? Or is the dollar going to go so fucking weak that it costs $1,000 to get a kukri from Nepal? That's on the realm of things that could be happening. So, a lot of people look at that and like, oh, it's only $150 thing, whatever. When it's $5,000 in a few years, yeah, it's kind of like the fucking sword I bought from Cold Steel. It's a real sword that, like, it passed fucking a British saber test, and it was made in the same way that the Indians have been making swords for the last fucking 1,000+ years. It's cool. I wish it had a real horn handle instead of a fucking fake one. But at the same time, I kind of like the synthetic horn because it's not going to have any of the aging issues that real horn has. So, I like it. That's kind of where I'd be with the kukri, too. And I don't know. This is where there's a big part of my mind that says right now I should just be throwing swords into a pile. Especially old ones. Old cool ones especially. People are weird, and I think that the art market in swords is probably much bigger than I fucking think. And this is where really my trip with Blazer around the world, one of the things I'd like to do if we ever did that would be, hey, let's go to all these fucking bazaars and sword markets and knife huts and whatever around the world, and every place we can go and buy a knife, let's go buy knives. Because, like, that's 100% a thing. And instead of trying to find touristy shit, let's try to find handmade shit and negotiate. See how many fucking sea bags of fucking swag we can just fill. Because I value real handmade swords from anywhere a hell of a lot more than I do fake paper money right now. It's kind of like the bars of metal. I'd like to have gold and silver, but right now I have copper and aluminum and fucking steel. I did have some silver, but such as everything. I need to fucking start hoarding silver and gold again. But I think that's gonna be a thing after I fucking am done building rifles and cars and shit. Well, I don't know if anyone even watched this shit, to be honest. I don't even know what this was about. You got to hang out with me for an hour while I smoked and pondered about shit that I was going to buy. It seems like what a lot of life is. You know, it's either fighting to get the fucking money that you're going to spend or figuring out how you're going to spend it. I like the figuring out how you're going to spend it part. That's what this video is. I'll see you guys later.